Hey there internet, attempt number 6 at making a video today because all of my other ones have either been terrible ideas or have been interrupted. Please let this be the last one. Here we go. Life Unedited! So internet, this past weekend I finished watching The Office. Now I know what you're thinking, you do realize that that show ended like an entire year ago. And yes, I do, but I never really watched it when it was on TV. I mean, I watched an episode every now and then, but the last season showed up on Netflix like 3 months ago and I decided it would be the perfect opportunity to watch through the entire series in a very short amount of time. Now for those of you who know me, you can probably guess where the story is going, and that is that when I watch something, especially something that's kind of as emotional as The Office, which even though it's a comedy has some kind of intense like relational things and like people leaving sadness type things anyway, but when I watch a show like that in a very compressed amount of time, I get really sad when it's over. And so as I was watching the show and I was getting to like the second and third and fourth to last episodes and people started leaving and major storylines were wrapping up, I kept getting sadder and sadder. And yes, total disclosure, I did in fact cry a lot. Embarrassingly large amounts of crying happening on my face-ish area. But then I got to the last episode, the actual finale, and it got to the end and I was oddly satisfied. I mean, yes, there were points where I cried throughout the course of the episode, especially when, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show, Michael showed back up to be the best man at Dwight's wedding. But overall, I was just very happy to have watched this finale and seen these people's lives. And that was kind of a new feeling for me because normally, even if it's just something like a book or a movie or whatever, something ends and it just kind of devastates me and I'm sad about it for a while. I'm sure I've made some other video about this at some point, but that whole overwhelming sadness thing didn't really happen this time. And so for the past couple days, I've kind of been thinking about it and I've kind of come to a conclusion why. Maybe. This is probably totally wrong. My theory is that maybe I don't actually get sad when things end, but I get sad thinking about the fact that things are going to end. And I realize that doesn't make a ton of sense, but let me explain. See, when I think about the fact that things are about to end, it's kind of this fear of the potential unknown. I don't know whether things are going to end up happy or sad for the characters, and I don't really know what's going to happen. Versus the fact when something ends, sure, it's gone, and there could be a sad ending, and in that case I think me being sad is excusable, but if it's a happy ending, then the only real logical response is to be satisfied. And I've never really thought about it that logically before, but you know, it kind of makes sense that assuming everything works out for the characters, which it did with The Office, I shouldn't be sad that the thing's over. I should be thankful that I even got to experience it, even though it's a TV show and it's maybe not quite that important, and I should just be glad that the characters can move on with their lives. Now I realize I'm talking about fictional people, but I think the theory still kind of applies to real life things. When things end, assuming they end well, they're just good things to have happened in your life. And yeah, sure, something new and maybe kind of frightening is going to be happening, but it shouldn't make you sad simply because the good thing is gone, because there could be something even better in the future. And yeah, I'm getting all philosophical on you and I wasn't really planning about this. I was just going to talk about The Office, but this is kind of the nutshell kernel of it. And that is that, yeah, you can be scared that things are ending. You can be worried that about change is coming and all of that stuff. But in the end, when it's gone and you can't do anything about it, and you should just be happy that the happy things happened. You should be sad that the sad things happened, but be hopeful that more good things will be happening in the rest of your life. And yeah, that's all of the philosophizing I have time for today. Hopefully you can't hear the people in the background behind me, but you maybe can. I'll try and cut them out a little bit. And until next week, deuces.